Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we are playing Bant Beach. It is a tempo deck with lots of creatures, and it is kind of control-y as well because we can get into late game Uro grind fests. Teferi is just a total house in control mirrors, and we can cast a lot of these legendary cards uncounterably off of our Delighted Halfling. My favorite R&D mistake other than Dismember. I think this card was a total mistake. It just makes legendary creatures too powerful. And of course, it's usually just abused with like the One Ring and stuff like that. But we're going to get a little more creative here. So turn 1, play a Delighted Halfling. Turn 2, play a Tamiyos. And maybe a Noble Hierarch. Turn 3, jam Plagon, draw 4 cards, flip your Tamiyos. I mean, things get crazy very quickly, and what I described is a good sequence, but it's not like out of the ordinary. I do it all the time when I play this deck. The other cool thing about this deck is that we get to play the best removal in the format, Plow, and the second best, Prismatic Ending. I've even got a third one here in the sideboard in case we go up against tempo decks, and we can pretty reliably control our opponents while we're amassing a huge card advantage on the back of Plagon, or we can get to an endgame state where Uro can come out and he can be an engine of our own. And of course, we got the Tamiyos cheese wins as well. The mana base is very light. I am not playing any basics. This is like not for the faint of heart. We're playing 4 Trops and 3 Tundras and 3 Wastelands, and then only 3 days. So it's not the full tempo treatment, but I think it's going to be enough to help us against all the combo out there. Speaking of combo, a lot of it's graveyard-centric, and we have a lot of green cards that we can pitch to Endurance in a pinch. I've also got 2 more Endurances in the sideboard. These are really good against Delver. And I've got a Carpet, which we can also bring in. I've got a Narset for really grindy games like One Ring. Let's bring it in. And I'm now of the opinion that against these 12-post and Carnforge decks, instead of playing No Rod, you should just play all 4 Consign. It hits their Planeswalkers, and those are really important. And of course, 12 post isn't even playing a lot of artifacts, but I keep running into post. So I think I'm going to keep 4 consigns in the sideboard. I've also got 3 Force Negations for those matchups. The only other card worth noting here is Force of Vigor, which is really strong against Affinity. It's really strong against Beans, actually, because if they're doing like a lot of leyline binding and stuff, you can undo a lot of their work very efficiently. So we're going to play a full 5 rounds. As always, see you in round 1. Round 1, we're up against a likely Storm player. One thing I didn't mention in the deck tech, we do have Life from the Loam in the deck, and it is sweet when we get it going. I think they're a likely Storm player. I mean, we could just die, but this hand is too cracked. I'm going to keep it and hope they're on something else. This hand is turn 1 Halfling into turn 2 Tamiyos with the ability to Prismatic End or Brainstorm to flip the Tamiyos if we need it. Okay, and yeah, I feel like we're probably up against combo. They probably just take one of our Brainstorms here. If they don't take Tamiyos, I know that they're looking to end the game quickly. Okay, they did take Tamiyos, so they respected that. That's good. So that means I'm going to go ahead and take a turn to develop the Halfling instead of just desperately searching for... oh, that's so sweet. That'll be great if we can stick it. And we can stick it uncounterably and bounce whatever permanent. Like if they put like a, some sort of like hate piece on the table or something, we can just bounce it right back to their hand and get some tempo. Teferi is a great tempo card when you can cast him on turn 2. All right, opponent ponders. They could be on Doomsday is another thing. It's a very popular decision. The last Storm record I had of my opponent was like a few years ago, but they have consistently over the years played Storm. Right? That is the rip. Okay. Blue, white. Let's jam. And we don't have colored mana, but it doesn't matter. If this resolves, which it will resolve, then we have uncounterable force. They're just going to cast their Brainstorm end step. Oh, okay. See if this gives us any additional information. Now they'll need a discard spell to get through our force. We can definitely stop something here. I could plus. I mean, they could have a Bowmaster, and maybe I should respect that. I think I want the card. Like, call me greedy. But if they're in a, if we're in a combo mirror, oh, that's pretty good. We can do that next turn. Uncounterably. Put them in the yard, gain some life. Make them have to get another Storm for their tendrils. Wasteland. Okay, so if they're playing Wasteland, that tells me a lot about their deck. I think they might be on blue-black tempo or something like that. Is this Berry? Oh, they're just casting it? We can't easily remove it. This tells me they're on just blue-black tempo. So I am going to force... I'm going to keep Uro in my hand because I would like to win with Uro. That's a very safe way to win. Okay. Yeah, I've never seen Kaito in an unfair deck. So I think I just unfairly labeled my opponent as a combo degen. Like myself, I've been playing a lot of combo lately. I think we just try to spike a land, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and... I mean, I could just brainstorm, and then if I find a land, I can also Uro. I think that's fine. There's a decent chance I find a land here. Oh, I freaking tapped the wrong land. Oh, I got lucky anyway. Yeah, I don't need this Loam. I mean, it'll be nice to loam back 2 lands after they waste us, though. And I don't have a way to shuffle. So what I'm going to do is I'll put the Prismatic on the bottom and then the Loam, and I might be able to Loam it away. They don't present anything here. Well, actually, I'm going to just draw it here. So green, blue, blue. I'll just draw through. Does that make sense? Yeah, I'll just do it. Just to get it in my yard. Unless they have some way to disrupt my yard. Because then I can bring it back next turn. Is that true? I can Loam. I think what I'll do next turn is... I think they're likely to waste me now. And when they do... I can Loam that back. I'll Loam back 2 lands, and then I'll just Loam off the top, and that'll give me the graveyard. Okay, come on, waste me, please. They could be on like some sort of Reanimator strategy. Because they're playing 2 of these. Like, generally, blue-black tempo does not play 2. And they're playing Lotus Petal. I didn't notice that they've been that earlier. Okay, and that's fine. So I will get those 2 cards back. There's Tommy. I have a Prismatic Ending on top of my deck. So that works great. Yeah, this is going to be a good turn. They can't Brainstorm to save her because of Teferi. Teferi just locks them out. It's glorious. So we're just going to go green, blue, Loam. 1, 2. Get those back. Undo your hard work on that Wasteland. All right, and now we just have this looming over the game once we find a... yeah, and I'm just going to... They're down to 2 cards, too. I mean, we're just decimating them. And had I sequenced differently, I could have played out a halfling here, which would have been nice. I'll just hit for 1. And we'll pass. If this is a Merc, it's not that big of a deal. I'll figure out an answer. Oh, wait, I can just bounce it if it's a Merc. And they won't be able to recast it. They're going to keep some stuff in their graveyard in anticipation of me bouncing it, which makes sense. I might be able to find a Plow. They tap too much. That happens to me all the time. Okay. If we Loam, I mean, we could waste lock them, which would be pretty hilarious and awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Okay, we found a second Uro, which is kind of cool. I'm gonna go ahead and Brainstorm first because I don't want to have to use Teferi unless I have to. Plagon's sweet as well. Yeah, I think what I do is I can shuffle back the Loam at this point. Endurance doesn't really do a lot here. I mean, it chumps. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and fetch. I'm going to get a Trop here. I should technically get a Tundra probably. Now I'm going to go ahead and do all this under the protection of Teferi before Teferi makes his sacrifice. But I'm going to draw 3 cards. Blue, blue, blue. And I think even if I find a Plow here, I still am going to get a minus because I don't like... Yeah, Teferi, Murktide will just kill Teferi, unfortunately. And I've already made my land drop. I didn't find a Plow, so I'll just bounce that back. I'll draw a card. Okay, and we found the Plow now, so we're ready for the next one. And now the way this works is we just beat them. They said so much value. Indeed. Goal of the deck. This is a greed pile. Like, it has some tempo aspects to it, but at the end of the day, it's just resolving Plagon uncounterably. Yeah, they scooped. Like, I was so far ahead, they didn't even need to know how I was going to win. I could, hit them for 3, 5, 7 every turn if they didn't present anything. Okay. So, I do think it's fine to bring in a carpet. They're clearly a Wasteland deck. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so you can see. I was playing on my laptop last night, just jamming a few games. I did a league. I had 3-2 to league with like basically this deck. It wasn't exactly this deck though, because I didn't have the dazes in. So I made it a little more tempo-y just because I was like, okay, like it's a little tempo-y. This is not a tempo deck. Like a tempo deck has 1-drops. This has 1-drops that facilitate 3-drops. If you know, the only 2-drop in the entire deck is the Loam itself. Almost everything's a 3-drop. I feel like Narcissus is going to be pretty good against their deck. It's going to be annoying for them, but they do probably have Bowmasters. But this is like, I'm going to assume that this is going to be like a longer game, but they do have Petal. I think it's just Doomsday is what I'm up against. Doomsday with Murktide. Actually, I feel pretty confident that ending is going to be good here. No, we didn't see a single target for it. I'm not going to play it. I've got 2 of them already. On the draw, I think I could just take out the dazes completely. They're not like, these are for combo matchups, and that does give me a couple slots. Endurance is probably going to be very good, but is it going to be 3 of or 4 of good? They could have a Reanimator Bant to their deck. I'm so tempted to bring in this Narset. Yeah, I'm going to do it. All right, let's go. So you may be looking at a land count. 18, you don't have a single basic. Like, you're going to get screwed. And you're right. That's why I'm playing like 6 dorks, which help Plagon draw lots of cards. So my thinking here is, like, look at this hand. I mean, we just halfling into Plagon, and we have Endurance if they try to do something too degenerate at the beginning. Endurance also stops the Doomsday temporarily. Like, they may play the thing, and then I just, the Oracle, and then I can Endurance. Okay, and they're pretty they're incentivized heavily to kill the halfling because they know Plagons in my deck. And multiple Plagons is not a big deal because he draws a card to replace himself plus whatever you have on the table. This is definitely just like a halfling turn. And we have still, in an absolute pinch, we do have Pitchcast Endurance. They didn't counter that, but they may remove it. And what I like to do when I have a Plagon in my hand is just wait a little bit so I get all those extra juicy cards. There's a good chance that they have Orcish Bowmasters in their deck, which will be a pain because you do actually draw the cards off Plagon. It's not one of those. It is a newer printing, but they didn't say put those cards into your hand. They could so easily have done that. Oh yeah, they cast Long Goodbye on our dude. So that's a tempo win because they've spent 2 mana to deal with a 1 mana creature. I do not have Surveils in my deck. I'm just going to play this out and hopefully they don't daze me. All right, so next turn, assuming they don't daze, we do have Plagon for 2, or we could just Endurance them, clear their graveyard, make Merc less viable. Okay, they're going to Thoughtseize. They're probably just going to take the Endurance here. If they're going to do something combo-y, they might take the Brainstorm because maybe they're not threatened by any of these cards. But now, unless they have another land, we do have Plagon next turn, and we are going to draw 2 cards. Okay, they do have another land, so I'm not going to Plagon. I'm going to respect Bowmasters. Okay, now I'm not going to respect Bowmasters anymore. And the thing, why Plagon is so good right now, so cracked, is he deals damage based on toughness, not power. So he doesn't get debuffed. We can just easily beat down Tamiyos. It's not a big deal. And I faced many Tamiyos last night when I was playing my kind of warm-up league. So I didn't trip all over myself on film. And I think every single time I was able to just hit them for 5 with Plagon and a halfling. All right, so we're going to take a natural draw here. I don't have Surveils in my deck, which I think I mentioned earlier. Okay, this is freaking insane. Watch this. So here, I do need to resolve Plagon this turn. So I'm going to go ahead and just play this first. Now I'm going to Plagon and I'm going to Flipper. This is why you play freaking Plagon. Don't sleep on Plagon. Blue. Blue, do you have any sweepers in your deck? That's what I want to know. Are you playing Toxic Deluge? We draw 3 cards. We flip our Tommy. They are ahead. However, we should be able to catch up. Okay, so didn't draw a lot of great stuff. But, you know, Tamiyos cooking. And we have 5 damage. So 2 swings, and this is dead, assuming they don't put anything in front of it. Like, if they play like a Nethergoyf or something, we have a big problem. And what I'll probably do is I'll probably just jam another Halfling and Plagon again, trying to find a prismatic ending. Okay, they are redrawing a Thoughtseize, which is fine. They've just given up on Tamiyo being, like, unless they have a combo. They could combo us here. So they'll probably take Endurance if they're going to do some sort of graveyard combo. They did. Okay, so we might be looking at like a pretty big, like an Atraxa or something. Dark Ritual. Okay. Are they going to Doomsday us? Okay, they are a Doomsday deck. Okay, so this is bad news. So what I'll probably do is I'll attack them. They're at 7. I can only hit them for 5. And they may be able to just win this turn, but it's unlikely. I probably just ignore Tamiyo since their life is so low. Now, obviously, like, they're going to be able to debuff every turn, but it doesn't matter because I assign damage based on toughness, not on power. So this is just Doomsday with like a whole lot of... Okay, let's go ahead and do our Doomsday pile thing. We're not going to run out of time. I'm going to take my time here. If you're new to the Be Excellent channel, time is often like a serious consideration for me. Man, how do I get this? Okay, there it goes. It's back on the screen. They're Street Wraithing immediately. Okay, do you just have the win? If you pass, you're dead. Okay. They must have like an LED. There it is. Edge of Autumn. Okay. Yeah, they just had the win, unfortunately. And they already knew what our hand was, so we can't stop it. They're going to completely clear their pile. Yeah, that was a clean win. Good job to my opponent. Yeah, let's concede. Yeah, and that's why they Thoughtseize to take the Endurance, because I could have Endurance there, put like 8 cards back in their deck, and then beat them to death. All right. So knowing that they're on a Doomsday deck and that we're on the play again, I think Daze does come back in. I'm not sure that I want to bring in Force. I do want to take out some Plows. Maybe I just want to completely ignore Tamiyo and Tamiyo flip and just keep the Plows in because they do. Plow deals with Tamiyo. It also deals with what's her name? The Murky Boy, Swimmer Bod Murk, as I like to call him. I don't think Life from the Loam is the right place to be here. We can take that out. Like, Loam locking them is great, but they do have Dark Ritual, and it'll suck if we like disciplinedly Loam lock them for like 3 turns, and they're like, and then they just play, you know, Swamp Dark Ritual or something. I do think Teferi is great here. I don't think Uro is going to matter. I could cut him. If I'm cutting him, I mean, Endurance is interaction, and it also trims Merc. Maybe we play 4 of those. You can consign the final trigger, but usually that's not going to work because they have hand disruption. Yeah, I don't really want to play Force Negation. It doesn't actually stop their win card. Like Doomsday, I guess, being their win card, but... Okay, and it's worth noting that Narset is extremely good against Doomsday. It slows them down a lot. Yeah, I'm going to keep all 4 Plows in, I think. I don't need the Carpet, really, but it is a green card. Could accelerate me. I feel like I could probably play 1 Uro. He pitches to Endurance and to... Yeah, I'm going to do that. Just in case we get in a really grindy situation. I'm not sure about the sideboarding. I mean, I would leave a comment if you feel really strongly about Force Negation in the Doomsday matchup. This is a Delighted Halfling in a Daze hand with a Wasteland. I think this is good enough. I am actually going to lead with Noble Hierarch here because I want to be able to plow them next turn if they Tommy. And then I could even hold the Daze because I don't want to have to Daze like a 1-drop. That always feels bad. You want to Daze like the 3-drop, especially after they've already paid the mana through a Doomsday, then you're getting a 2-for-1 off your free spell. That feels great. All right, they're not fetching. Well, that kind of sucks because if I show them the Doomsday or the Wasteland, so I want the Halfling out. I think I'm going to Ponder, see what I hit. There's a Plagon. I mean, that's good. And a second land. So I think here, I just want a Halfling and play another land. I could play Wasteland, and that will at least keep them from fetching. Oh no, I screwed up. I definitely don't want to draw a Plagon now, because they could Thoughtseize me. Yeah, that was very poorly stacked. Let's put it that way. Because I could have just played the other land and kept Plagon safe on top. They're fetching. This is going to be a basic island. What are they going to do here? Brainstorm? It's fine. I'm not going to go after a Brainstorm with the days. I already kind of screwed them off black. They voluntarily fetched that with respect to the... out of respect. Next turn, assuming they don't force this, which they might. I mean, that'd be crazy. Okay. All right. And I'm going to be really disappointed when they just Swamp Thoughtseize me and take my Plagon, because I'll have nothing going on. Tamiyos fine. If they attempt to flipper, I will daze, just because I think this is worth it. So if they daze back, though, it's pretty bad, but I don't want them to be able to pay for daze. I think I just let this go. And the reason I let this go is Plagon's going to come down uncounterably next turn, and then I can just attack her, assuming they don't have a removal spell. Yeah, I'll let it go. Because like if they're mana screwed, I'd be giving them an extra swamp for next turn because they could just daze back, and even though I can pay for it, yeah. My goal is to try to Brainstorm and lock them here. And also worth noting, had I gotten the fetch, I could have probably just held up Plow here without tapping the Hierarch. Granted, I wouldn't have wanted to shuffle away the Plagon. Yeah. Hierarch does make it so I can hit Tamiyos for 1, which makes it so they can't regrow that, but... All right. So what I'm going to do, I don't want that other fetch on top of the deck, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that now. They do have... I mean, I'll get this just to respect what they could have here. So we're going to Plagon here. Draw 3 cards. Okay, that's a Carpet. I don't want to cast it. I'm just going to waste them. Yeah, I'm just going to keep the mana up. This is good if they try to like play a creature. Because they could play a creature to protect Tamiyos next turn. They have a fetch. So Wasteland probably did something, but maybe not enough. It's entirely possible that they just win here, unfortunately, if they are able to Dark Rit. Yeah, this Carpet feels like it shouldn't be in the deck. Certainly not at this point. It felt like a super dead draw. Brainstorm would really change things up because I'd put back... I'd put back a Plow and a Carpet. If they just plus, it's entirely possible that I just need to attack with all these and just kill her and use all my mana to kill her this turn cycle. But I won't be able to do that if I have to daze something here. Okay, they do plus. See what the draw is. Force would be great. Another Plagon. Huh. So one option I have is just to hit for 4. Hit her for 4 and only invest 1 mana, and then I could just Plagon again. Uncounterably. I don't hate that. And I might find a Wasteland when I do that. So they have Fatal Push, I will daze it. Like, I mean, if they plus again, though... Yeah, I think it's better to hold this Ponder as a potential pitch to Force. I guess I could have played this out and gotten 2 mana. I don't think it's worth it, though. I really want to just hold this as a pitch to Endurance. In case we get into a Doomsday bind again. All right, so we're going to hit Tamiyos for 4 here. All right, so Tamiyos loses 4 loyalty. How sweet it is. Now, I think we just land Plagon. Draw 3 cards. I think it's worth it. Okay. Yeah, these cards suck, unfortunately. I think we ponder here to potentially find another point of interaction. These cards are terrible. What the heck? Come on, deck. Oh, no. That's bad. That's very bad. We could definitely lose here. Okay. So we may look strong, but we're actually in an extremely precarious situation here. They Doomsday. They have the mana to pay for it. All they need is a Dark Writ if they have it. But Masters is annoying. I can't interact. This is a blocker. I can plow both of these things out of the way if I need to. And then just kill Tamiyos. Okay, that is what I was looking for. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just plow first. I don't like... Out of the way. I guess I could go ahead and carpet too. I would love for them to force this if they're thinking about doing that. Please. Haha, yes. All right, let's go. I'm so glad I feel vindicated keeping all these plows in my deck. All right, I can do this all day. All right, so here we have to decide, are we just going to stop and attack Tamiyos and take out their... I mean, they'll block with the Orc Army, but you'll still lose 2 loyalty. Or do we want to carpet? We can't plow this out of the way, unfortunately. I think I'm just going to go ahead and do the conservative thing and attack Tommy again. Okay, so they are not doing anything here. I'm going to go blue. I'll switch to the power toughness of that, and then I'll go blue. Okay. That works. All right. So Tamiyos is going down. They may think, oh, I've got a Murktide. It'll be fine. It's not going to be fine. Okay, she's gone. Ding dang. Ding dong, the witch is dead. We're tapped out. We have Daze and Force. They have 4 cards. Okay, Undercity Sewers. They've got so much land. They've been a land. They're getting flooded over there like we are. So Daze is pretty terrible here. They may feel like they don't have that much pressure. They don't really have to go for it here. Baragorf would be annoying, but again, we've got the plow. Baragorf is so annoying that I would... they are going to go for it. This sucks. Oh, why not just attack and put him in? All right. Well, I will Daze this. I don't know that it's getting much better than this. I think that's the game. I think they should have just accepted that they were going to lose this and ninjutsu'd him in. But they didn't know that I would have Daze of all cards. I mean, look at my deck. It's like a big deck. Why would it have Daze? But that's kind of like part of the advantage of playing this type of deck. Here, I think we just keep smoshing. My hand is fine. I could Plagon. What would be the best thing I would find here? A Tommy? Tommy would definitely improve my fitness. Let's go ahead and ponder. Hopefully I don't come to regret this. Come on, deck. Show me the goods. I mean, Uro's pretty cracked here. And a second Force that I can draw into immediately. Sign me up. This is my only Uro in the deck. Green, blue, and I guess I'll add blue here. And next turn, if I want to bring him back, I could always just use the carpet and just do everything with that mana. So I keep all my mana up in case they have like Fluster or something like that. Okay. And now I will just... I don't even think I attack here just in case I get into a force fight. I don't want to be tapped out. We are very far ahead. We just need to stop a Doomsday, which I think we'll be able to do here. Yeah. There's no reason to let this resolve. I think it'd be silly because like bad things can happen there. They said GG. All right, we got it. Those forces, we had to dig for them, but they were critical. I genuinely believe that they could still win from this position if Doomsday resolved. Round 2, 1-0 after beating Doomsday. Our opponent has been playing like blue-black Reanimator. That could mean they switched to blue-black tempo. That could also mean they are still on blue-black Reanimator, trying to make it work with careful study. I'm going to believe that they're not this hand seems very powerful. We turn one, and I always lead with Halfling. That way I can make my Tamiyos uncounterable and have mana to brainstorm to save her if they just immediately try to kill her. Because like it basically guarantees that you're going to flip her unless they counter the brainstorm itself afterward. In addition to, you know, bolting her or whatever. Like I almost always try to get a clue off Tamiyos. I'm not like a Tamiyos flip truther. I don't know how to say it, but like somebody who believes that you always flip her immediately. I mean, she is an incredible tempo card, but I like to at least guarantee I get a 2-for-1 for her. Because if you flip her and they just have prismatic ending or something, then or Shielder's Edict, then it's just a 1-for-1. Also, if I'm like talking kind of weird, I have my head tilted to the side because I have swimmer's ear from swimming so much with my kids, and I've got antibiotic drops in my ear. Yeah. All right, this is just... So we didn't learn anything about that. That's like Island Ponder. It's the most generic opening in Legacy. So I'm going to show them the Delta instead of the Flood Strand, just in case they think I have black in my deck, but I don't. Then I'm going to go get a Trop. They might think I'm like on bug. And then be a little more cavalier around the possibility of a Plow, for example, or Prismatic Ending. Yes! Getting the Force. 1 green mana for him. And they don't know that I'm not playing like One Ring or truly degenerate stuff. I mean, like, let's face it, Plagon is kind of cute compared to the One Ring. The One Ring is just insane. All right, I think what I'm going to do here... They didn't have the days. The card that was pitched to Force was a Brazen Borrower. So I think they're just on blue-black tempo. I drew a Force for turn, which is great. Options. 1, we just play this Delighted Halfling out. I'm going to waste them first. They may have Brazen Bowmaster, and I want them to go ahead and cast it now. Tainted Indulgence. Okay, they are on the freaking discard deck. Draw 2 cards, then discard a card unless there are 5 or more. Okay, so just basically draw 2 cards and discard a card. Because you're never going to have 5. Like, how would you ever accomplish that? Okay, there's the freaking Atraxa. Okay, and now, unfortunately, we are going to be vulnerable to days here, but I'm not going to stand still. I'm making an executive decision, just like the movie where... I think this is the one where Steven Seagal died in like the first 20 minutes. Which he died like a really cool, noble death as like a something, but everybody was like, yeah, we just didn't want to work with Steven Seagal. Dude's a dick. So they like changed the script after the movie started. They're like, we don't want to work with this guy. They killed him off. It's a Kurt Russell movie. Kurt Russell, man. He's an actor's actor in terms of like, kind of like, I don't mean to diminish his craft. I'm not an actor. He can act way better than I can, but yeah. Okay, so this is just Tamiyos, and we have Brainstorm. I mean, I could go for Uro here. I don't like going for Uro here. I like keeping our options up. Because, let's just play our Tommy. And we'll just chill for a turn cycle. We could ramp with Uro, but it doesn't feel right. Because if we Brainstorm, we might find a Daze. We might find another Force, and Uro is a blue card that can be pitched to Force. I just hope that they don't make me go for it now. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, if you're ever, like, it's late at night, look up, like, stories from the SNL cast, Saturday Night Live, from the night that he had, yeah, I'm going to just Force here, and then I can Brainstorm for more interaction. Okay, they have the Force. We have to fight over this. So I always let the Force resolve first. Just in case they have something else. Okay, and now I'm going to Brainstorm. Which is going to, sadly, flip my Tamiyos here. Because I don't want to flip her now. I wanted to get a clue from her. Prismatic Ending, Wasteland. We don't have an answer forthcoming, but we do have Plows in our deck. I'm going to just let this resolve. I'm not going to concede. Is this Wasteland even worth keeping? I'll keep the Prismatic Ending around. Yeah, I'll keep the Wasteland. Okay, we'll probably lose here, unfortunately. Is this deck still viable? Apparently so. It's been, like, I saw somebody had like a 5-0 with it. I'm just sick of it, but it's less degenerate than it used to be. I will be stunned if it's still a tier deck. Like, Tainted Indulgence, really? I guess it does pitch to Force, but it's 2 mana. Their toast to good health went immediately horribly awry. That's a lot of adverbs. Immediately horribly. Okay, so they chose another Atraxa, Reanimate, Wasteland, Tainted Indulgence. So they're going to try to re-Atraxa. And they did choose a Wasteland. So they can waste me off a color because of my greedy keep. Or my greedy decision to keep that Wasteland. So I'm going to go ahead and fetch in my upkeep. I have no illusions that I'm going to be able to stop this unless I just get really, really lucky and spike a plow. And even then, better lucky than good, as they say. But again, they're going to do this again. Okay. So I guess I could just redo it. I don't know. They can waste me off white, which prevents me from being able to do that. I am going to fire something at them. I'm not going to just sit still. I guess I attack them for 1. They do use their life total as a resource. If they have the foresight to waste this, then I'm so screwed because I kept that Wasteland. And I'll lose. I mean, like, they're very far ahead in terms of cards. Okay. I thought they were doing something. No, they were just taking the damage. Okay, so again, like, let's get their hand figured out. So it's Reanimate, Wasteland, Tainted Indulgence. Okay. So they're surveilling. Oh, they don't have no, they have Tainted Indulgence. They can put it in the graveyard with, but they need 1 more mana to reanimate. They may be able to just do it as one nice smooth motion, but that will require them tapping all their lands. Oh, actually, they can't because this requires blue-black. Is this show and tell? If it's a berry, Abhorrent Oculus. I mean, it's annoying, but it's not the end of the game. I can remove it if I can't remove it with the things currently because I wasted them like a dumb. This would actually be really easy to clear. All right, but we do need to clear it. Okay, so I'll just Prismatic End it. And then they're going to know my entire hand, unfortunately. But I can plus here. Blue, green, white, and you. And now I just plus this. And then when they attack with this, I just block it. I think this Abhorrent Oculus is not good. I've tried so hard to make it work. I don't think it's a good card. I don't think it's a legacy playable card. I'm about to die to like some common, but what I'm really dying to is the fact that they were able to successfully attract me. Okay, so I'll just block here. Do you have a Bowmaster? Okay. They can take an Indulgence, but they can't also, unless they have a land. Yeah, that's fine. And they can and probably should waste our Tundra here. Oh, they do have a land. And they can waste us. Wow, we're totally screwed. Yeah, because we regrow the plow to kill this. And they found a lot of good stuff. Also, Tainted Indulgence might actually just 5 or more. 1, 2, 5. Yeah, I don't think that their deck is even capable of having 5 different types, of 5 different mana values. It might be. Because 1, 2, 3, 7, 5. They could in theory have all 5. Yeah, and they're doing exactly what I said they were going to do a couple turns ago. So tilting because I could have survived this and the next wave, but I guess I can minus grab a Brainstorm and then Brainstorm and then plow. Let's see what's in their hand. Do they grab a Force off that? They have the Force of Will. Yeah, I mean there's not really any point. I think they're just going to counter this. All right, whatever. Yeah, if I had kept the Tundra instead of the Wasteland, I think we might have had a fighting chance. Because we even top decked another plow. Okay. So, Endurance comes in. This is a matchup where Carpet could come in. I'm not totally sold on it here. I don't know. Like, their archetype, like, that deck is, like, so in motion and being edited and stuff that it's difficult to know what is actually in it currently. This is an answer. I think we cut these. I mean, that did hit the Oculus, but like Plow would hit the Oculus too. They didn't present a ton of threats. I definitely want to keep the Dazes in. I do think Wastelock is totally viable. They're playing quite a few. They do play a basic Swamp and a basic Island. I mean, Reanimate's so cheap that they may be able to just cast it anyway. with the Wastelands, with the basic swamp that they showed us, I do think that maybe wastelocking them is a fool's errand. They do have to cast more spells. It may make sense to bring in a force negation here, but I've already got the dazes. I mean, if I wastelock them, then the dazes become extremely strong. I'm on the play. I mean, wastelocking is one of the cool things that my deck can do that most decks can't, because most decks aren't green, which makes me want to do it. Narset is okay, but I just get the feeling that she's not going to do enough. I mean, like, actually, if you think about it, they have probably like 12 draw spells at least, because maybe 16 if they're playing Ponder. I think it's worth bringing her in. I'll do that instead of Wastelock. All right, let's try this. And this is why I've got 4 freaking Trops, because there are matchups where you need to have 4, in my experience. This is a mulligan, unfortunately. Happens when you have 18 lands in your deck. This is also probably a mulligan. Like, when this hand's good, but this Ponder has to find a green source, and if it doesn't, we're just dead, because they'll waste us, and we can't cast anything with this. I think I can mulligan again, and maybe get green card plus endurance as a safety blanket. This is the best hand we've seen, for sure. So I'm going to keep this. Sadly, I have to put back this Uro and this Teferi. Oh, I don't want to put back the Teferi, though. I think I put back the Plow. It really sucks. But I want to have a blue card for force in case they just go. Yeah. All right. And then what I'll do is I'm just going to go ahead and open Tommy. Yeah, that was not... Those mulligans were not kind to us. And again, you could say, oh, that's because you're playing 18 lands instead of like 20. But I'm playing a bunch of Mana Dorks, and I didn't... Like, what I found last night in my league was I'm getting flooded a lot. Like, I had, like, I think 20 lands in my deck then. So I went all the way down to 18. Okay, their own Tommy's fine. Okay, so here, I'll just hold the fetch for later. I'm just going to come in and immediately draw a card. And that does leave me vulnerable to daze. But if I don't draw the card immediately, they could Bowmaster me. There's like, unless I have black and 2 other black-blue colorless, there's no practical reason to ever block her, I don't think. But okay, so it may just be like one of those heuristics. Always block Tommy if you can. I think I'm waiting. Did they have Bowmasters, or is that the previous blue-black match? It feels like we're playing against blue-black every turn. Yeah. If they brainstorm here, I'm just going to let them have it. Okay, they're fetching. So I don't think they have brainstorm. But Tainted Indulgence is probably a must-force card, because it sets up the possibility of them. It flips Tommy and Douthie. I don't think I care about Douthie. I can gain life with Uro. I don't use my graveyard for anything. I'm actually surprised they brought this in. I can also just bounce up to hand next turn. I'll just draw. Okay, that's fine. So what I'm going to do is they can cast, right? Or is it play? Yeah, they can play my Wasteland against me if I waste them. But I do think I waste them here. I think I just played Teferi and bounce this back to their hand. But that does open me up to a lot of nastiness next turn. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and attack. And I am going to take a turn to just waste them. I think it's extremely unlikely to throw their Douthie away just to waste me. And if they do, I'll be very happy because I've got tons of land in my hand. I'm going to waste them off blue and just hope it does something. I mean, it probably restricts their ability to use clues and stuff. They can't have everything, right? Like, there have to be some trade-offs when your hand is as juicy as their hand was. Yeah, and I think I just have to wait. Like, if they Bowmaster and they get an extra ping, so be it. But I... Like, them dazing a force on, a Tainted Indulgence or something like that would be really embarrassing. They did have another land. Okay. So I'm Tainted Indulgence is a sorcery, I believe. Do you have the Bowmaster? Okay, that's nice. That they didn't have it, but it's not nice that we had another land. Okay, I am going to just jam. I need the green. I'll attack first. And I feel confident they don't have Teferi, or they don't have Bowmaster in hand, so I am going to go ahead and just, if it resolves, I'm just going to bounce the Douthie. Okay, they're fetching. I guess my question is, if they force here, they may just be dazing this. Oh. All right. That is good. Bounce this to hand. They can't recast it, which is nice. We drew a Wasteland, which may or may not be good. Got my little clue engine ticking up. I've got an uncounterable force of will now. Hopefully they don't Thoughtseize me. Okay, I will waste that. Douthy's back. I'm going to ignore it. It will kill Teferi, but I've got another Teferi after it kills him. And I'm just going to try to continue to get ahead in cards and... yeah, I'll waste them again. Oh my goodness, come on, deck. Give me some non-lands. I mean, I could flipper this turn, which actually is probably worth doing, but they'll just kill the Teferi. But that means she'll be able to keep going up. But if I deny them this, I think it's probably better to just flipper. And that'll give me 2 new cards, one of which might be a force, or a blue card at least, so I can not have to pitch my second Teferi, because I think second Teferi is going to be good. And also this gives me an opportunity to develop my mana a little bit more. All right, and they have Brazen Borrower in the deck, which if they borrow this, it's not that big of a deal. She's already been in for one. I'm going to get a Tundra here. And we're going to go ahead and flip her. I actually kind of just want to take a turn off to kill Douthy. But that does put the... yeah, they can't do anything. Yeah, that was a great rip. I'm going to chill. I'm not going to flip her yet. Like, I killed Douthy. They have no pressure. They put... actually, I'll chill and see if they attack Douthy or Teferi, then I will... okay, so I have to act now. And I will let them... this way they... oh, they can do something from the void, actually. I didn't think about that. If they want to get a Wasteland. Yeah, they can play it this turn. I mean, it's not a bad play. I would do it. Yeah, I should have plowed it last turn. I was going to wait and see if they tried to draw with Tommy. Okay, they're using the ability. So this plow will whiff, unfortunately. Yeah, it was just bad. That was a punt. They may actually just use one of the fetches instead, because the fetch can go get another land after they see my Wasteland. What do they choose? Okay, they chose the Wasteland. Even though I have all these lands. Yeah, that's fine. Right. So I no longer have force up if they want to go for something now to flip her. Okay, wow. We're getting another turn. This is great. All right, I'm going to plus... I think I want to flip her now. It'll involve drawing 2 cards, which is also nice. My opponent's seen... I'll just go get another Tundra out of my deck. That's great. Oh, that's good too. Definitely be looking to cast that next turn. I'll waste them and endurance them, and that'll probably be a good wall to stop Tommy. Crack a clue in the end step. Teferi's really good. He's a really good card. So now I'm worried about Reanimate. Reanimating Douthy would be kind of a pain. I just have one more turn where I can't do anything, but I think Endurance at instant speed when they can't do anything is going to probably be the end of Tommy, especially if I waste here. Are they going to flip her too? They could. I think it's probably correct to just go ahead and flip her if they can. Yeah. They've got 8 cards in hand. They're going to have to go to discard if they want to flip her. Yep. Okay. They might want to go to discard. All right. Atraxa maybe? Yeah. An Atraxa in the yard. All right. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start wasting them here. So I started wasting. I'll just keep plussing. They don't have any way to deal with her that I know of. Plus this. All right. So I'll just wait for them to put the Reanimate on the stack and then I'll ruin their day. They may -4 Thoughtseize. I'm just going to ruin their day now. Unless they have like an instant speed. Well, they can't instant speed anything because of Teferi. Teferi, like the games where he comes down and he sticks, it's incredibly one-sided in my experience. Like last night, I just, like some Jeskai player, I had Teferi on the table for like 10 turns and it never felt close. I never felt any danger. By the way, if you're curious, the Jeskai player did ultimately prevail in that match. But the game that Teferi was out, he just totally dominated. So this is dead. Unless they play out a blocker. In which case I can just plow the blocker. Like if you want to, they're not going to be able to Oculus because Oculus is not a good card. Tainted Indulgence. Knock yourself out. They have another Atraxa. Do they have another Reanimate? They do. Well, this is a pretty easy force. They still have 6 cards in their hand. They could absolutely still pull out a win. I'm not going to make it easy for them. I just didn't want them to get all those cards. So with this amount, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and waste them. I'm going to keep doing this every turn. I could just regrow. I could have regrown a force. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to ultimate them. With this out, I don't feel any real fear. I'm just going to bounce this. Deny them a draw later. That's a good card. Let's kill Tommy. If they have another reanimation effect, I will have to actually deal with it. Which sucks, but I can deal with it. Like, they're not going to be able to stop my plow. Even if they Thoughtseize first, they'll see 2 plows, and they won't be able to take them both. They're going to gain a bunch of life here. Or they're not going to gain... Yeah, they are. They're going to get their life back. Give me my life back. And then we're going to Tamiyos ultimate, and then they're going to lose. Like, they would have to draw exactly Brazen Borrow, which I daze, unless they also get a land, which I guess they do get a land. So I guess I could still lose here, which would really suck. Yeah. Okay, so they chose Tainted Indulgence, Orcish Bowmasters. Orcish Bowmasters is good. This is the Thoughtseize. Tainted Indulgence, Orcish Bowmasters. They didn't have a land? Huh. Let's think about this. So if we just daze, then that ensures that they can't take it? That feels wrong. Yeah, they can't... I can just ping the, like plow the Bowmasters. I don't think it really matters. They're going to take one of the plows, I presume. They took the days. Okay. So they're going to Bowmaster and try to take 1 loyalty off her. So I can't ultimate, but I can just plow an ultimate anyway. I won't get to keep her. They're at 4, but they're going to gain a bunch of life off this. Because I was greedy last turn, and I took away their clue. If I just bounce this. Unfortunately, that works. Yeah. So I'm still in a good position, but not as a good position as I would have been, to say the least. And it wouldn't have mattered that I dazed, because they would have just probably let it resolve. Let the daze resolve and then just petty theft it after that. Okay. They are down to 6 cards, so what I've learned is just double check and make sure they're not going to be able to discard even more stuff. All right. So I'll just do the mana efficient thing here. All right, and that is a great draw. I will go ahead and attack them, and I will play out this Tommy. We are going to win. It's just going to take a few extra minutes. I'll let that happen. They bin an Atraxa. Do you have yet another reanimation effect? You have 8 life. They are attempting to do this. Well, I'm going to end the game here. Endurance is so good, especially when he's uncounterable. All right, opponent didn't just scoop to that, so maybe they do have some line. Orcish Bowmasters, it's fine. They already know I have another plow. I'm just going to use it. I don't have to use it right now. I think I just keep smashing them. I can do everything at instant speed. They do have this waiting in the wings to jump in. All right, now they're too low to cast Reanimate. I could just flip her again. I plow, and then I think it's fine to do that. There's a force. I'll take the force. And now I will fetch. Get another trop. I'll do this. I should get a blue card. Come on, blue card. Okay, they scooped to that. All right. So we'll never know whether we would have gotten that blue card. But, yeah, I don't think Loam is necessary here. It's a scary deck. I mean, Endurance saved me several times. And the fact that they were able to successfully Atraxa even with all that interaction, scary. I think Daze comes out. They're going to play around that. They seem to have tons of mana in the deck. If that happens, then Carpet comes in. I think we could bring back in Prismatic Ending. Is that right, though? I'm with the Bowmasters. I'm inclined to take out Hierarchs just because they are a free lunch for Bowmaster. And we brought in the Carpet, so that's a 1-for-1 mana source. I think I'm going to bring in a Force Negation as much as I dislike it on the draw. I really don't like this card, but the meta necessitates it. They just need to print like a straight up additional Force of Will. Like the same exact card, but call it like the will remains or something like that. Will again. Because, I mean, the meta really, like, you should be able to play freaking 8 Force of Wills if they're going to be printing cards like One Ring. All right. This is fine. It's not fantastic. We only have one mana source, but we do have an Endurance, and we have a Plow. Do I want to keep this? I mean, it doesn't feel right. I don't want to pitch cast. But they are mulliganing, and we might be able to get lucky and just get them off balance with a Wasteland. But then we can't capitalize. We don't even have days in our deck. This is super risky. Super duper risky. They mulled to 5. I'm going to mull. Okay. This is as deep as I can go, unfortunately. They went to 4. Okay, yeah, I'm going to assume they're going to try to do something degenerate. I will keep the Wasteland. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hope that... So we'll put back Teferi, we'll put back a Brainstorm, and we'll hope that Plagon... that we find a land and then that we're able to Plagon. But I can't go any deeper. I feel like really on my back foot here. But I do have a Force of Will. Now, you might be saying, why didn't you keep the first hand? And you don't know when you mull that you're going to mull into Oblivion like that. All right. So this is going to be a Wasteland. And then we're going to be chilling. But I don't want them to have... They can't Entomb here or anything. All right. They mulled a 4. So maybe they don't have a land. Okay, they don't. That's good. Come on, land. Drop. Okay. Well, I mean, that's a good card. That'll get us going. Once we find a land, we are rolled up because we delighted Halfling into Tamiyos into... Okay. They found the land first. They probably win. All right. I'm not wasting time. I'm going to go get my Trop and get my Halfling on the table. And I will force to protect Halfling at this point. Because if they have a Wasteland, we're just screwed. Yeah. Now at the very least, we can get a Tamiyos out and start cracking clues. So it's kind of like we're just taking our turn 1 like 4 turns behind schedule is how I look at it. They're going to surveil here. Try to put a fatty in the yard. We were completely vulnerable to the days here. They kept... Must be a land. No? Ponder. That makes sense. I'm not going to hit that. Like, you could whiff. Please don't find a Wasteland. Okay. At least it's not a Wasteland. All right. I like it. Uncounterable. Here we go. All right. We could just go ahead and go for the Brainstorm now while they don't have... I think I'm going to do it. This may seem rash, but if we find a land, we can also cast it. And if they force here, it's great for us. If they daze, it's not so great. But at least, yeah, there's no at least. Yeah, they forced that. Okay, they pitched in the Traxa. They really don't want to face Tamiyos. That's great. So we have double force. If we find a land, Plagon's going to come in and just wreck them. I'm liking our position. They have 2 cards in hand. They don't have a fatty in the yard. Surveil says... Delta to the yard? Okay. So they think they can win off 2 non-basics? Let's see if we can find a Wasteland and show them otherwise. Right. Feeling good. I am going to have to force a Bowmaster here. It's just going to be devastating. But I am going to try to plug in here. If they have days, it's like we could very well lose, but I don't want to wait. And I won't sing that song, the Dawson Creek song, sorry. Sorry for even putting it in your head if I just did. Oh, please. Please let it resolve. I think they passed the priority. No, they didn't. Oh, no. All right. I will pitch the... I think it's probably actually Force Negation here because Brainstorm can still flip Tamiyos next turn. No, it has to be that. Oh my goodness, please. Yes. Oh, and this is what our deck does. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. There, I replaced the Dawson Creek song. If you even know what Dawson's Creek is, leave a comment. Like, I was born in 1980, and there was a show, Dawson Creek, that like a lot of people were watching. I'm not going to counter that. They put a Douthie in the yard. Like reanimating a Bowmasters is devastating enough. I will. Will I allow it? I don't think I do. I think I'm far enough ahead that I just. Yeah, I think I stopped this. And that might be the end of their ambitions. They may just tap out to that. Okay, they're still playing. Okay, so this is great. I think I could minus to get a force negation. I think I'm just going to keep plussing. I think I'm just going to keep plussing and not attack. I mean, I could attack for 3 for 1 mana and still hold up endurance. I think that's fine. But they did Brazen Borrow me last game, and that was pretty rude. I'm not going to lie. That was cold, bro. I just wanted to do my degenerate Tamiyos thing. All right. So now let's go ahead and do this. And I will just do this with this. And I totally see like an argument for hanging back, but like they do use reanimate. So if we can get some life, knock some life off them, I think it's worth it. And yeah, they could have a daze. We got lucky and they didn't have daze earlier, but if they daze like an endurance, that would be annoying. Okay. So they're going to do the discard thing. We could always pitch cast endurance if we really worry that they have a daze, but they have to discard a card here. They've got 2 cards in hand. Okay. If they go for like a reanimate on Bowmasters, I will. Yeah, I'm just going to. It's not the end of the world if it gets reanimated, so I'm not going to pitch cast. Because endurance is a great like win con. I really wish we could use Delighted Halfling's mana to pay for endurance too, but they didn't make a legendary endurance. I've looked at like every single card. Okay, they scooped that. Yeah, that was a cool match. I think we're well positioned. I'm just having a blast with Plagon. I'm a value fiend, value hound. Round 3, we're 2-0 after beating Doomsday and Reanimator. This hand, I don't think is good enough. They're on Cradle control. I'm gonna mulligan this. They may not be on Cradle control, but I think they are. This is the same hand basically. I'm gonna keep it. I'll just put back one of these Trops. We don't have any turn 1 plays. Yeah, this hand sucks. We do have Prismatic Ending in the deck, which is pretty good. Got Plow. At least we have a Plagon here, which if we draw the right cards, this might be able to kind of help us recover a little bit from terrible openers. Lair of the Hydra. Ignoble Hierarch, okay. Yeah, definitely Cradle Control, which doesn't have a lot of removal. Doesn't play Bowmasters. I'm just going to go ahead and ponder here. I'm looking for a Delighted Halfling or a Noble Hierarch. These are more of the same. We're going to any order shuffle this. It's not worth getting the endurance. Oh my goodness, deck. Come on. I've got 18 lands in the deck. I had like a 5-lander into a 4-lander. Wasteland, please. Please waste me. What is this art? Oh, this guy. This allows you to waste twice. You know what? I'm excited to see this. I'm not sweating it. With my land count, I'm fine. Okay, so they can just waste. Okay, so that triggers, and then that gets killed, and then they get their wasteland back. So it's like a double waste. It's kind of like a, what's it called? But it's cheaper. No, it's not really cheaper. It's basically just Samwise, but it doesn't die to, what is the, whenever you tap a creature for mana, add an addition. Okay, that is relevant. That is relevant, because it, yeah, I think this is going to be a good card. Okay. So I could just plow this out of the way. I don't hate that. They are going to get lots of wastelands on me, unfortunately, because my deck is, yeah, it sucks, but this ramps them. So we're going to lose this land, and it's going to take us a while, but we're going to just chill and try to draw a Mana Dork. Quarian Ranger. This gives them a lot of, but wait, there's not a forest. Okay. Is this like natural order? Please be natural order so I can force it. Green Sun's Zenith, X equals 2. How scared am I of this? This could be the graveyard thing that gets really big really fast. They're down to 2 cards. I'm going to force. I mean, Plagon's how we get back in the game, but Plagon's how we get back in the game. I'm all in on Plagon. We rip a Mana Dork, we rip a Tamiyos, and we're golden. It'll take a few turns. All right, endurance is not what we need. I'm going to play this out. I don't have a surveil land, as I've said like 3 times. You don't play surveil lands in tempo decks, generally, unless you're playing 19 lands. Like blue-black tempo plays 19 lands, but you don't play it in an 18 land deck. This is not a great matchup for us. We didn't want to go against the go wide. We wanted to go against combo decks. Like Daze is a completely dead card. Even on the play, I'll rip it from the deck. Okay. And the card they revealed was Springheart and Tuco, which is going to go so wide. It's going to be so hard for us to catch up here. Let's see what they were going to grab. Okay. I think we're done here. Yeah, they could just go get. Can you search for land? Yeah, they could just keep wasting us forever. All right, so let's talk about what comes in. Prismatic Ending for sure. Actually, I don't have very much for this matchup. I don't think their graveyard matters at all. So endurance sucks. They don't really have anything. Yeah, there's like nothing. Like I bring in that for sure. I guess do I even want to take out Daze if. I think Daze is probably better than. Life from Loam is good because it gives us back all the lands they destroyed. We didn't see black mana. Well, yeah, they do have black mana because do they play Bowmasters is what I want to know. I don't see a single Bowmaster, and they've already trophied with this Badger Mole Cub thing. Badger Mole. Everything's got these arrows on it, like racing stripes. Yeah, typical like no removal. What do they have for removal? Toxic Green is one of my favorite cards. By the way, it's not in the creator program. This is one of the ones that I can't access because it was released in some extremely limited set. But I love this card as an answer for big mana decks. All lands have tap, add 1 color of any color, and lose all other abilities. So that shuts down Urza Saga. It shuts down the ridiculous production of mana that the Karn Forge and 12 post decks do. They do have a lot of non-basics, so Wasteland is good here. I don't want to cut... Like I feel like the way we win is we get a giant Plagon. I think that's the way we do it. And we get so many cards they can't keep up. They don't really have card draw. They just have good cards. Like every one of their cards is pretty solid. But like they do have mana dorks and air like ours. We have to cut something though. I think it probably is just one of the Dazes. Yeah. So we have lots of removal. And we do it. I probably could have cut a Force. Force is pretty bad. Gosh, these hands. How am I drawing so many freaking lands? I'm going to keep this, but I'm not happy about it. I'm going to just open Tamiyos because I need to get clues. I'm really disappointed because like when you play an 18 land deck, the reason you're playing it is to avoid hands like this. But I can't mulligan this hand. I mean, I'll just hope that they have a waste heavy hand, that they're using their Badger Mole trick. With Badger Mole, it is going to become more of a prison-y deck. Like I don't even know if they used to play Wasteland. They probably did. This is probably going to be a mana dork. I'm going to say Plow for something substantial since I'm not on the mana denial plan. Okay, now they're casting Once Upon a Time. Let's see what they find. Like their deck is very solid. I have a profound amount of respect for this. They find a Wasteland. Okay. Snuff out. Not like this. Well, there goes my ambitions of like playing an interesting game. I think this is just going to be a very quick round. Sorry to sound all fatalistic. Okay, well, that's not actually that bad. So I think what we do is we Tommy and we Hierarch here just to put a plurality of threats on the table, but they're probably going to waste both of our lands. But I'm fine if they think that's with them thinking that's okay because joke's on them. We drew a ton of land. So they haven't wasted any. Yeah, so I'll just replace the green and the blue when they double waste us over the next few turns. Oh, I almost tapped wrong. Elementary, my dear Watson. All right. So now we at least have a Tommy on the table and we can... they did 5 damage to themselves already, but if they have the Badger Mole with the Wasteland, it's pretty irritating. But the one thing where I think it's better than Samwise is the land comes back in instantly. You don't need to make a separate land drop. Even though it comes in play tapped. Yeah, there it is. Okay, and they didn't Earthbend it this time, which is apparently like something from the Avatar universe. I've never watched any of the Avatar anime or Reddit. Okay, this is a good plow target. I'm definitely going to be plowing that. Okay, so I think we plow and then we flip. I'll get a damage in while I'm at it. I don't think they have good things to deal with a flip Tamio. Let's go and brainstorm. They could have snuff out again. They don't. Okay. I don't think Wasteland is where we want to be against their deck, but we probably actually do want to be there, sadly. We haven't made our land drop yet, but I want to shuffle some of these away. We've got tons of life. I'll just put the green source back. I think now is the time to plow. I could go ahead and waste now. That may disrupt them a little bit. Green, white. Okay, let's plow this. All right. I think they're going to have more land. They have tons of land, but hopefully it slows them down a little bit so that we can... they can still... Noble Heart can't actually damage Tamio because of the debuff. Okay, that's good for us. That means they're going to get a land. Okay, wow. That's really good for us. Yeah, we don't care about our graveyard. We have Uro in there, but like he rarely makes an appearance. Wow. Holy lands, Batman. I guess that's because I knew that was going to happen because I chose to waste them last turn. It was I don't really regret. I'm just going to... Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and... because this can actually damage Tamio. I wouldn't mind finding a plow to remove one of these things. So let's go ahead and draw. Life from the Loam. Well, unfortunately, our Wasteland's gone. I will let this thing hit me for 1 loyalty, and then I'll keep this around for another turn cycle. Yeah, if I find another Wasteland, I'll be very happy to waste lock them. They have 4 cards, though. Okay, this is maybe something big like a white Aquarian Ranger. Okay. They do have a force that they can bounce to hand. They have Gaia's Cradle. Oh, no, we're going to die to freaking... Oh, that's brutal. Okay, this is very big. They don't have good attacks. All right, let's see if we can race. All right, yeah, I pretty much have to play out Plagon here, and he's going to be the sacrificial lamb. And then we'll see what we draw, and we can go get another color. But I'm worried about natural order here. If I get Tamio, I feel very confident I can overwhelm them. So we get 2 cards here. Force blue card would be nice. At this point, Grist is like the main thing that I'm worried about. Do they play Grist? They do. Talon Gates. They paid 4 mana, so unfortunately this is going to phase this out until our next upkeep, so we're not going to be able to block. And we get 1 fewer card. That really sucks. Okay, well, I'm going to play out a chump blocker. They may be able to do that trick again next turn to phase out 1 more attacker. It's really irritating. This card is so annoying. Okay. But that's like kind of how they stun lock you, is they just keep putting things in. Yeah, that was not a great Plagon. This is a lot of mana. This is just a natural order for Grist, I think, and then they're going to kill Tamio. It sucks. I'll scoop, I think, when that happens. 6 mana. Are they going to go get Craterhoof right now? In a way, hear me out. Their deck is kind of like a tempo. Yeah, they're going to Craterhoof us. Their deck is kind of a tempo deck in the sense that like they don't have traditional removal. This is from the sideboard. Like what they like to do is just loop this, thing and keep removing your creatures while they beat you down. Oh wait, are they going to hardcast an Atraxa? Is that what we're about to see? They'll probably find another Cradle, so they'll be able to re-roll a whole bunch of stuff. Wait, they don't have... No, they have all 4 colors that they need. That's wild. I still think we can win if we can ultimate, but I don't think we can... They're going to find some sort of snuff out or something. Watch. Actually, they didn't find anything. Guy's Cradle, so they can re-roll. Thoughtseize. It is... Like, their deck... They're going to get like 3 cards, I think. Thoughtseize, Badger Mole... They do have a natural order, so they can take that. Oh, I think they get natural order for Craterhoof now and win. Because they take the Guy's Cradle, and then they get a bunch of mana, and then they natural order. But they may not actually be playing Craterhoof. Let's see. I think you do play Craterhoof, though. Right? I don't see it in here. Natural order may just be to go get Atraxa. Okay. The cards they kept were the ones that I thought they would keep. They are getting natural order here. I think they Grist, and then they sack to kill Tamio. So it's cool. We're getting to see like how the deck works. It's not my style of deck. This deck just loses to combo, frankly. Like it probably has like a 25% win rate against like Doomsday and stuff like that. Sylvan Safekeeper, Badger Mole Cub, okay. But I am gonna get the ultimate, right? They don't have a way to sack. Oh, they sack. Oh, that's so smart. So smart. So what they're gonna do? This gets debuffed. At the same time it gets buffed. They're gonna take a loyalty off, and they're gonna get her under. And then they sack this. This comes back into play, and it takes that out. Yeah, this is what I was telling you. They just kind of eke over the finish line by phasing out our stuff. Now they hit Tommy for 3. And this ensures that we're never going to be able to plow this out of the play. Yeah, I'm done. Because this, yeah, whatever. Good games, I guess. It's just our deck. I'm blaming our deck. I'm blaming our deck. Maybe it's my design. But like, you shouldn't draw as many lands as we did when you're playing 18 lands. It's not likely that you're going to do that. All right. We're up against likely Reanimation Gamer. We have a forced blue card hand. Like, our opponent has always played Reanimator. Pour one out for the non-blue Reanimator players out there. I have a friend from up at Boardwalk, and he just refuses to play blue. He's just like, blue is so easy. I'm like, okay, that's a take. But he just wants to play the mono black, and he just wants the game to end, like when you get the Gristlebrand in play. And so he's kind of like the splash damage of the Entomb ban. But yeah, sorry, not sorry. Like, it had it coming. All right, Delighted Halfling. This is powerful, what we're doing over here. This is going to be a turn 2 Teferi if they don't have Disruption. I guess even if they don't have Disruption, if they waste us for some reason. But wasting into an active Hierarch. Okay, it looks like we're on like Doomsday or maybe Reanimator. Some sort of combo deck. I'm feeling like Teferi is going to be pretty good here. It's uncounterable. Plow's a fine rip. I think I'm going to be disciplined to just tick up here. I'm not going to be a greedy person. Because like a Bowmaster, like I don't want to have to force a Bowmaster. I'll force something interacting with Teferi. Our hand is stacked. I'm very much looking forward to just Urowing, just to get an extra card, gain some life, get deeper into our deck. Tropical Island strategy. Oh, the respect. I respect Uro. I am going to play him when he comes out eventually. But we might be able to endurance him away by then. Oh, what are you doing over there? You're brewing. Ancient Tomb and a freaking Uro deck? You're crazy. All right. What could this mean? Could mean it's like Omnitell and this is like a backup strat, which seems pretty chill. There's the days. Now that I see that they are unlikely to have anything, I'm going to dig deeper into my deck first. So we get an extra card here. It's a land. I'm going to go ahead and play the land just in case they can't do anything. What am I afraid of? Uro comes out. I too am an Uro gamer. You'll be happy to see. Maybe not happy because my Uro is a lot sooner coming back than yours. Prismatic Ending. Okay. There's always yields of these, so I don't have to deal with them. No. Okay. I'm liking where we are. I'm just going to chill. They're going to face severe opposition to their Omni show efforts. Show and tell? Let's not. And I do have to keep days up here just in case they try to go again. That'd be really embarrassing to lose to a second one. I know it seems dumb to keep days up here. Like, you got Brainstorm. But, like, if they just do it again, it's so devastating. I'm a genius. Shout it from the freaking rooftops. Like, like 2023 me absolutely would be like, oh, I'm not going to lose that value. Like, but they had precisely what I thought they would have. Yeah, like, I'm proud of that play. And now with this fetch, I'm just shy of re-Urowing. I'll go ahead and take a draw just in case it's a Brainstorm because I do want to put some of this stuff back. Oh my goodness, these Prismatic Endings are not good. So options. We chill for a turn cycle. I could just Prismatic Ending just to get it in my yard. I actually don't think that's a terrible strategy here. I don't know that it's going to be any good, so I'll just cast it on. Wait, I can do it at instant speed in the instep. Yeah, I'll do that. I'm going to pretend to be strong. I'm not going to attack with... Well, maybe I do attack with Delighted Halfling because they're doing damage to themselves here. Uro's not coming back anytime soon. I guess even if they did show and tell, assuming it's not straight up Emrakul, I could have been... All right. Yeah, like holding days against your opponent that has 6 land. I'm very proud of that play. Put that directly in the yard. Let's untap. I'm going to definitely Uro this turn. I just want to go ahead and fetch now. Let's get a green source here. Just to thin a little bit. Okay. And of course I drew another land anyway. Let's go ahead and green. I'm going to go ahead and fetch again, just because I want to attack and just put damage on the table. I think that's what this game's about. I will plus again. And like, at least if they show and tell what's it called? I can just bounce it back to hand now. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll keep a force in the yard just in case Tamiyos comes out later in the game. Okay. And I'm going to go in for a hug here. It's annoying that like I committed to doing the extra damage here, and now I don't have the mana up to Brainstorm for a force if they do have a show and tell. I just have to hope that they don't have one of them. This is a lot of mana. Lorien revealed. Yeah, that's fine. For some reason, like I saw the text like 30 seconds ago and the client's just taking forever. Yeah, that's a good card. Miss you. Okay, they are 1 land away from being able to bring back Uro. Okay. Force is the rip. I can just hold up Hardcast Force here. No, I'm going to attack for everything. Okay, I Plagon here for sure. It's just so strong. They can't counter it anyway. Plagon. Draw 2 cards. Yeah, nice. I can cast this at instant speed, so it doesn't matter. I'm not particularly worried. They can tap these lands. If they bring Uro back, I can just bounce them right back to their hand. Hedge Maze, Binning, a Misty. They don't even know I have a force. I feel totally safe here. 7 card hand, but I feel safe. Okay. I can kill them even if I let this resolve. So I'm going to let it resolve. Because they could like One Ring. I mean, what are the odds that they would... No. They would die if they One Ring. So I'll just force this. And I'll pitch the... Yeah, I'll pitch the Plunder. Just in case I need a Brainstorm. That puts more stuff back. Okay, what are you doing here? Okay, they just killed themselves. Okay. That is an option you have when you have the Ancient Tombs out. You can just tap them instead of having to wait for... Like, it's sometimes faster than clicking the concede button. Okay, so they probably have... Okay, I'm going to take out the Prismatic Endings. I'm going to bring in the Force Negations for sure. Bring in Narset, absolutely. I don't think Consign's worth it here. I'm going to take out... Actually, I'm going to take out all the Plows. I don't believe in Plow. I don't believe in Endurance. So that does bring in Consign for... I mean, what can we even stop with this? It's a blue card for Force. I think it might be correct to bring in Prismatic Endings rather than Consigns just because that can deal with Uro. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So I won't bring in the Consigns. I'll bring in the Prismatic Endings. Those can deal with Uro and Carpet of Flowers. And I guess I bring in 1 Consign. I don't want to have Carpet in there, and I don't think their graveyard matter. Like, yeah, you can get him out of the graveyard, but like that's probably the only way they use their graveyard, and it's dirtily as heck. Loam, we can absolutely Loam lock them. We didn't see any basics. All right, Consigns in the deck. Let's do it. I mean, like, let's say they do have a Traxa, and we can just plow it and move on with our life, which we can't do if we don't have Plow in our deck. We just like... We have Teferi to answer her. I guess Teferi is probably good enough, though. Just drawing to a 2-outer. Yeah, I'd rather have a blue card than Plow. Again, Prismatic Ending answers Uro, so we don't really have to worry about that. We just have to worry about Atraxa. Prismatic Ending is really good right now, especially if you have a 3-color deck. This is fine. I'm going to snap keep this. Double force hand. And I don't ever snap keep. I always like sit here and banter for a minute because I don't want my opponent to think, oh, they just got the nuts. Sometimes that does make sense, but like that's like you keep a greedy keep. But this is not a greedy keep. This is a very responsible keep. Okay, forest. Carpet. All right. Well, I'm glad I kept my stuff. Unfortunately, I am going to feed the carpet. Every single mana source in my deck is blue. I'm not going to fight that. I'll just cast a lot of mana dorks. There we go. That's one. Yeah, I'll just... I'm going to go ahead and... Halfling will come out second because I'm going to cast both of these. But this one can cast... can make mana that I can use for other spells. I don't expect it to be sniped. So what I'll do is this turn, Hierarch. Then I have Consign up and I can play out the Halfling. And then Plagon will be turn 3. And I just won't play out any more lands except for Wastelands. They have 3 mana. They have 4 mana. This would really suck if they One Ring now. Because like Consign is really good. We didn't see it last game, but it's probably in their deck. Stock up. Yeah, that works. I've got so much counter magic. Like I rarely counter this card. And maybe that's wrong. Leave a comment with a timestamp if you genuinely disagree that I should be actively countering these. But I'm just going to save up all my permission for the big volley. All right, this is working out spectacularly. We have more blue cards for force. We can Plagon and re-Plagon. They're forcing that. Well, guess what? I actually do care enough about this to force. I am going to force pitching a Brainstorm because Plagon's like a draw 3. Brainstorm is a draw 3 and put 2 back. Yeah. This is important to me. The card they pitched there was a Lorien Revealed. So, I mean, had they cast that, that would have been 3 cards in the grip. That would have been substantial. I expect Veil to be in their deck, which is terrifying. So we could absolutely lose the Veil. This has to be countered, unfortunately. Do you have another force or a Veil? No. Okay, well that is not terrible. We're going to go off Consign completely here. Oh! Yeah, I mean, no. Yeah, actually, we don't need to go off Consign completely. Check this out. I'll just go blue, blue, Plagon, uncounterable. Draw 3 cards. We don't have a Tamiyos to flip. We draw another Wasteland. That's nice. I'm just going to hold up Consign as my sole point of interaction here. I think it's better than pondering. And we're going to be wasting them basically every turn for the rest of the game. It looks like if they play out lands, I'll waste anything. I'll waste anything that moves. Waste this, waste that. This is fine. Yeah, it's scary because they could escape it next turn. I don't have endurance on my deck. So this is like definitely like, I mean, if I get a window to like Prismatic End or something, I'm probably just going to end that. A lot of good draws in the deck. Come on, deck. Ugh. Why? Why do you do this to me? I want to go ahead and ponder here. Our own Uro is probably good enough. I don't have a way to shuffle. I can put the Misty in, but that doesn't actually shuffle without giving them mana. So next turn they do have... They just need to put... Well, when they put the Petal in, they'll get Uro back. I think we need to find a Prismatic Ending for Uro. We won't actually be able to produce unless we play this out, though. It's rough. It's rough. I don't want these other cards. Halfling doesn't do anything here. We don't have a target for waste. We could waste our own lands to get Uro out, but that feels weak. I'm going to anywhere shuffle this. Come on, deck. Oh, that's not terrible. That's not terrible. I think I just replay it now. I want to do a pre-combat because I could find a Prismatic Ending for this. That's what I'm trying to do. So we'll draw 3 more cards. I'll keep the one that's not summoning sick. Trigger. It sucks. Yeah, that's not good. I can play this out just in case I find another one. Then I'm off Consign. I think it's extremely likely they just play Uro next turn anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and just play them out. It's extremely unlikely that we race Uro. But we can attack for I probably should have attacked for 1 there. Yeah. This is an interesting game, for sure. I did not expect to be in an Euro matchup mirror in 2025, but the bans have been very good to us in terms of format diversity. Okay, they're cycling. So that will also give them the mana that they need. And then they can keep the pedal for later. But you can cast that Lord and Reveal. Why are you cycling? Okay, yeah, they're bringing it back. So Teferi, we have 2 Teferi and we have 3 Prismatic Endings that deal with this thing. And I did not expect them to get it out. So kudos to them for making it this far. I will take them off that mana. Most likely. We'll see what I draw. Best card draw in our deck is just another Plagon, probably. Oh my goodness! See, we're playing 18 freaking lands. What the heck, deck? What the heck? I can't. I can't. Why the heck is this happening to me? This is atrocious. All right, I don't usually whine about getting flooded and stuff, but when your deck is 18 lands and you draw, I don't know, 8 of them in their top 20 cards, that's pretty awkward. Yeah, we don't really have any moves here. I will take them off that tomb. Yeah, I'll take them off the tomb. I will play out a land. Not a land that gives them carpet. We have no moves. I mean, we could technically kill it, but I don't think that's the answer. And you might be saying, oh, you could have consigned some random trigger, and this is going to be important. This is going to stop us from One Ring or Atraxa or something good. I'm not going to throw it away to deny the or drawing a card. It may make sense for me to just fetch to thin, giving them land. I don't know. It doesn't feel right. I can't stop this. They are very far ahead now. I will waste that trop. But now I need to find 2 Prismatic Endings. 1 for the carpet, 1 for this. But this is the priority, obviously. I hate to say it, but I do think it's probably we just had to kill it. So we block here. I mean, they could just bring him back, though. Yeah, I'm just going to let him through. I think there's a high likelihood they just bring him right back next turn. This is a good juke. Omnitell people listen up. That's a legit juke. All right, good game. I'm not going to play anymore. What the hell? What the hell? All right, sorry. Again, just some really rough variants on this league so far. I feel like this is a very favorable matchup. Stunned that we lost. Stunned. Force of Vigor doesn't I'm not gonna get tilted. I'm not gonna start doing dumb things like putting Plowback in my deck. We're gonna win this one. We're not gonna get flooded. That's improbable. We were dealing with a 1% game, maybe a 0.5% game in terms of the volume of lands we drew there. This is a keep. It is a 4-lander. Continuing the tradition of my 18 land deck giving me way too many lands. And maybe it's that it feels because I'm playing these mana dorks, it feels like I'm getting so many more of these, but my goodness. All right. So we're going to play this and we're going to hope that we draw one of our 10 cards that this enables, or that we just him to torque them. That's fine too. We're doing literally nothing here. Yeah, that's great. All right. Cunning Wish to the board or to the bin. So they're on Omnitell. We're not going to be able to stop we might be able to stop an Atraxa trigger, but it'll be after they've already gotten incredible amounts of value. Yeah, there we go. That's going to get wasted. No, this is why you should always play Wasteland in your control decks. Of course, we drew a land. All right. Every time we draw, it's 18 in 60 chance that we'll draw a land, but it should go down when we've already drawn a ton of land. We had 1, 2, 3, 4. We had 4 lands out of our deck already, so we had 14 lands. Anyway, you don't want to hear me whine about RNG. What the hell? Seriously. I'll play this out just in case they play the carpet. I might find a brainstorm. People often joke about DB accounts, Daybreak games that I'm playing on, get MTGO++ in terms of streamer luck and stuff like that, but you're seeing that I'm actually getting MTGO minus. All right. Just stay strong, not draw land. Okay, that's a card. I'm not going to cast it. I just want to hold out and get more than one card off of it. That might be greedy. Maybe I just put him on the freaking table and put on my big boy pants, as they say. Yeah, I'm just going to do it. I know it's lame, but he can attack and do something. And by the way, we're like totally teeing up the mother of all carpet of flowers if they find it. But I have to play into it. Okay, that's a good card. So I think what'll happen is, unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to pitch cast with Tamiyos so I can have a second force up to stop their second volley. Because I can hard cast this. They're going to be able to get a surveil here. I mean, like, again, like, I think this is an extremely favorable matchup. I wouldn't be surprised if this was like a 70-30 matchup. But our deck has to actually give us the cards. Any deck, it doesn't matter how good the matchup is. If you get flooded, you will lose. There's the carpet. I'm not going to force this. I have to force their actual payload spells. Okay. And now they get all the mana. And here comes the show and tell. And this is Uro. Show and tell. Well, that gets countered. Hopefully. They veil it, so we lose. Yeah, this, like, I had the Wastelands to rein them in. I don't regret drawing that. Like, we were destined to lose. It sucks. Omniscience. If you have any spell, I will scoop. Okay, yeah, good game. I'm not going to wait. Frustrating. Very frustrating that the past two rounds of just, like, we had a great start and then, and decent matchups. But let's go to the final round. I want redemption. All right, we're up against Sima Tian. Sima is a very common Chinese last name, and most Chinese names are only one, but Sima is one of the few two character names. So Tian is probably the first name. Okay, this is uncomfortable. We're against an unknown opponent. We do have graveyard under control. Again, it's like more lands than I would like, but yeah, we'll hierarch. And then we'll hope that Teferi does stuff. Cloud Post. Okay. This is not that bad. I don't want to waste them yet. I want to get on board. So they are probably going to get 2 mana. If they play Planar Nexus, Wasteland is absolutely the best card. And what we're really hoping to do is waste lock them. Okay. Nexus. That's the high priority waste. Because that enables all the other lands. Okay. And I think they probably have K-Command. They're just waiting. Okay, yeah, they're doing it now during our turn to play around. Yeah, it's a good play. They're just going to exile this, probably draw a card. Yeah. So that's a good card, but we're not anywhere near using it. I think I just need to take this out. It's too impactful of a card. But they led with this instead of the tower. So cutting this off takes 2, and I've got a follow-up Wasteland. Yeah, it's tough to know. I'm not sure if there's any like consensus on whether you're supposed to go after the Nexus or you're supposed to go after the cards that Nexus powers. If they play like a tower, it'll be really sad. Okay, so I think I chose correctly there. This is going to be the Otter. Yeah, so we're just up against the Carnforge deck. And if we can find a Life from the Loam, the only Life from the Loam in the deck. Like I put it in the deck, hoping it would give us game in precisely this matchup. So I'm going to take a turn off from wasting them because I need to get Uro going. Okay, that's great. So what I'll do is I'll just chill and I can brainstorm if I need to. And then next turn we'll try to Uro into Wasteland. The fact that they played that island out might mean they're just trying to get the rest of the Wastelands out of our hand now that they see that we're a Wasteland player. Okay, that is a blue-black source. I think we probably we hit that. I don't know. I think Nexus is the card you hit. I'm gonna brainstorm now because I'm not gonna have the mana to do it next turn. These daisies are pretty awkward. I think Endurance does almost nothing in this matchup. I'm gonna put it back. I'll keep this as a blue card. Teferi is good. It's not great. It can be attacked. So I'll go get another Trop here. Then I'll draw Wild. Okay, that's a great card. We don't have the luxury of putting it back if we want to get Uro cooking. Also, K Command can exile Uro out of the graveyard, which is kind of annoying, but it means they're not doing something else that they could be doing with that mode. Baragorf is generally in the sideboard in these decks, and it comes in post board, and I do think it'll probably come in. We get our card. All right, Plagon. Let's light them up with Plagon. All right. Now I just take out this Nexus, I think. It's the riskiest card to leave out there. They could just K Command now and get this out of our graveyard and draw a card. That's what they're doing. They're island cycling. Okay. Well, if they're just tapping for 1 mana, it's not a big deal to me. Usually that's not going to win them the game. So we do need another green source to bring Plagon or bring Uro back. I really want to draw like a Delighted Halfling or something like that. It's possible Daze does some work here. If they try to go for 1 ring here. It looks like that's what they're doing. So this is a good trade. Next turn we can just play Teferi. If they force here, it's fine because we have more stuff. I actually might force with Teferi. I don't know how good it is against them. It's another card that gets exiled by them. Did they make a land drop this turn? I think they played the island this turn. Yeah. So they could still have land in hand. So we're pretty far from out of the woods. Okay, Halfling is precisely what I wanted here. So I'm going to go ahead and play this. I don't want to play the Halfling. And I'll just chill with the ability to... like bouncing this to hand, you don't really want to do it. But now we have a defender, so we can Teferi safely. But I am going to try to bring Uro back next turn. I think with Uro out, that's our engine. We're going to have to pitch this force to play to something that they're going to do this turn cycle. All right, that's good for us. Okay, so that's maybe impactful, that draw. So let's go green, blue, Uro. And it's so nice that you can use this for the escape cost as well. And it's uncounterable. 1, 2... Wait, I don't necessarily want to take those out. I'll leave the Wastelands. I guess I can only leave 1 Wasteland. All right, we're in. Card is Ponder. Not bad. Okay. Let's go ahead and pass with lots of interaction up. And a Teferi arriving next turn too, which doesn't have a target yet. I am worried that they do have force and 1 ring, and that's how we could lose from here. I will... They don't actually have colorless to cast K Command. Yeah, I'm just going to let that go, but that does mean that they probably are going to name force here. But they're going down a card to do this. Wasteland. Okay, they named Wasteland. That's fine. I can Teferi that back and then waste them. And that's probably what I'll do. If I find a Wasteland, but I don't have a Wasteland. Okay, they didn't have a land drop. That's nice. Okay, there's the Wasteland. So I'm going to go ahead and just go blue, white, Teferi. Uh-oh. This means we can't defend Teferi from this, but I think it's worth it to just get the waste in. But they can just replay it at instant speed, so I don't actually know how effective this is. 4 mana. What are they doing at 4 mana? This is uncounterable. Waterlogged Teaching. Search your card library for an instant card with flash, then reveal it and put it in your hand. I think this is worth dazing. All right, and we scoop. They scoop to that. So I'm not sure, like, maybe we're going to look for like a Dismember, or the Dismember doesn't kill Uro. I don't know what they were looking for. All right. So against this deck, Force of Vigor is quite strong. Is it? Actually, I'm not sure that it is. Consign, all 4 consigns come in. This is the deck that you want consign against. We do have to leave the plows in to respect their Baragorfs, but we can also respect Baragorf with Prismatic Ending, which is more flexible. So that could be a trim. There's no graveyard interaction here, other than, you know, like them. I don't actually know the extent to which they use their graveyard. Narset's great here. They don't have a lot of ways to pressure Narset if she resolves. She can make their ring completely invalidated. I think Force Negation could come in too. So we could just trim more of these. They are going to bring in Baragorf here, I think. Because like Baragorf comes in against non-combo decks. And we are definitely not a combo deck. I think Daze is just so bad that I'm going to cut it. Like, it's terrible against their deck. They're not going to go after our lands, but like our land is so thin already. Yeah, I guess I could trim a land. It should be a Tundra. And you'll note that, like, unlike a lot of tempo decks, I'm only playing 3 waste, 3 Daze, so kind of like the light version of tempo. I think this is probably okay. We could trim another Plow, but we're doing so at our own peril. Maybe I don't need all the force negations. They do have creatures. Yeah. I mean, we have the consigns. We're going to be holding up consign basically the entire game if we find it. Because like they have so many colorless threats. And this is why I tell people don't play Null Rod. Just play a bunch of consigns right now. This is a freaking cracked hand. Yeah, this hand's insane. This is everything I wanted in a hand. And this is the deck that at Eternal Weekend had the highest win rate. Even higher than the Nadu and Entomb decks, which were thankfully banned out of existence. Okay. That is the freaking draw. All right. Damn. We just got like all the variants that we had, like the previous games that I was whining about, like a little baby. Like a lot of that just got like kind of like paid back. If we draw a land, I'm just going to Uro. If we draw like the best draw would just be Wasteland. That would be insane here. Oh my goodness. Such a freaking crack draw. Oh my goodness. And the freaking Loam. What on earth? I think I'm going to grab I might regret not getting a Tundra. Okay, so green, blue, Uro. We're still going to have force blue card. It's not like we're in like super danger here. We draw a card. Wasteland comes in. It is not your day, friend. Do you have crop rotation? All right, and we just ripped a Tamiyos with Plagon. I mean, I'm going to definitely take a turn off to Loam and waste them, but now the top priority is keeping them from K-commanding me and taking these cards out of my graveyard. But I don't think that's going to be too hard considering they have 1 land. They play Urza's Tower. So that Planar Nexus denied them 4 mana. They would have had 5 mana this turn. I think when they see the Loam, they'll probably just scoop. Green, colorless, Loam. I'll take all these cards. A Fairy Macabre. Unfortunately, I cannot interact with that. That's really strong. Wow, I never would have expected that card. Okay, but I still get back 2 lands. It's not the end of the world. And I can still Tamiyos here. I still have the Loam in the yard if I find another Wasteland. So I'm going to get a Trop here. Play the Tamiyos. I'm not sure what is going on. Why do you keep showing my settings? Okay. And now I think we just attack for 1. I don't think they're going to have it. Like, I just want to do damage to them because they're a 1-ring deck. Next turn we have Plagon for 1 million, as long as we don't have to get into a force fight. I really hope we don't have to. It might make sense to just Loam to see if we can find another Wasteland because it's so good. Ah, they have the mana. I have to counter this, unfortunately, by Plagon. Oh, no. Okay, executive decision. We're not going to let card resolve. I'm going to force again. It sucks, but I'm going to try to win off Tamiyos. I can't let Karn resolve. It's too devastating. It shuts off my clues. It does everything. I actually probably should have cut some Tamiyos out of this. Do I Loam here? If I find a Wasteland, it's freaking insane. I did not, but I did find another Uro. Yeah. All right, let's go for the Uro kill here. They're tapped out. I'll go ahead and create my clue first. They could have another Fairy Macabre, which is too late. They should have done it when I passed priority here, so I did give them a window to Fairy Macabre. But I have my Loam out of the yard at least, so oh yeah, they do have the Fairy Macabre. So I shouldn't have gone to combat. I should have just freaking cast it where they wouldn't have been able to do anything about it. So that was a punt. Did I already make my land drop for the turn? I don't think I did. So I'm going to go ahead and Loam. I'll just get these back. Wait. I'm going to make my land drop, and then I'll just, yeah. I am giving them information, but I'm going to get 3 lands, and hopefully I never have to Loam again. Maybe that was a punt. 1, 2, 3. If I find a brainstorm, I'll be happy that I just Loam these back. I guess I could go ahead and draw now. I'm not going to Loam. Okay, that's fine if they remove this one, but it doesn't do anything right now. So my opponent knows my shields are down if they One Ring. Don't have it. Oh, thank goodness they don't have it. Okay, now I need to take this Planar Nexus really badly because like they could draw so many insane cards here. I can't afford to do this. I need to draw actual cards. Like Consign. Okay, now I can do it. Let's go ahead and take this out. Bye-bye Planar Nexus. I just substantially hobbled my opponent's mana production. So we'll draw our second card for the turn. Cards I would like to draw. Teferi. I don't think they're going to have a third Fairy Macabre. I'm going to take a turn off from that. Okay, Brainstorm. This is the card I wanted. Oh my goodness. I'm going to go ahead and Brainstorm now. I can't shuffle because, so I'll redraw one of them, but I will flip her. Is that what I want to do? I have another one. Yeah, I'm going to flip her. And then I can just play another one. Okay, that is correct. Absolutely correct. Okay, so we will redraw that. Our opponent is still playing like a champ. But I feel like we've definitely got this one. I'm going to hold up. Do I want to play her out? It gives me another card, but I kind of feel like we don't play her out, and here's why. If they have... Let's see. No, they would have to have... If they had it last turn, so let's say they find another Planar Nexus, then they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so they can cast the Ugin, and then I could consign and stop the trigger. It may be overly cautious, but we're about to win the game. Like, we're just going to destroy them here, I think. Like, our hand was insane. Because okay, yeah, we got it. That was a 3-2, despite our deck many efforts to sabotage us. With copious amounts of land. I feel way better. It's taking forever to load. Sorry. Okay, that was a 3-2. There we go. Play points. Okay, we got our play points back. So, thoughts on the list? I love it. I think it's really solid. I did not miss the basics. I have run into Moon Stomping like 1 or 2 times, I think, in the past week since the ban. I think it's fine to just win with Force of Vigor. I don't think I've never seen red so unplayed right now. I think this is the lowest red participation I've ever seen in the meta since I've really got into playing Legacy like 3 years ago. So my assessment is you don't need the Hydroblasts. What you do need are the Consigns. The Force Negations definitely helped, although we did lose against Doomsday. Wait, did we lose against Doomsday? Yeah, did we win? I can't remember. We lost to... I know we lost to the Badger deck. Oh, okay. But look in the timestamps. That's what we played. So Prismatic Ending is definitely worth its salt. Plow actually like often just rotted in my hand. There just aren't that many creature decks. And then you encounter one that's all creatures like that. The deck that we did lose to for sure, which was Cradle Control. So my assessment, like, don't be a scaredy cat. Just play the non-basics. Because it really sucks if you have an island hand and that's your only land and you have a Delighted Halfling and you just can't go to town, right? And at the same time, you don't want to get wasted off white completely. Noble Hierarch can definitely... Like, I think this is the right ratio. 2 Hierarchs, 4 Halflings. Days, seasoned to taste. You don't necessarily need Days, but it was pretty good there. It saved us a lot of times. And you may be saying like, oh, Days doesn't belong in a control deck. Or if Days is in the deck, it's not a control deck. You'll run into those types of people. Screw them. They're wrong. Like, this is absolutely a control deck, and we just get tons of value instead of going up the Beanstalk, which is another way you can do it. But I like Plagon a lot because Beanstalk, it doesn't matter how many cards you draw. If there's an active Tamiyo, you're not going to be able to kill her. Plagon can always hit Tamiyo if you can clear the path for him. He does not get debuffed. I think there were several instances where we were just able to kill a Tamiyo even at like 6 loyalty, like 1 or 2 swings, and Yeah, this is a solid answer to Tommy. Also, you may say, oh, it's a legend. Like, why are you playing 4 of them? I think it's fine. Also, I tried playing 3 Uros earlier, and I think 3 Uros is too many, even though it pitches to endurance and force. Let's take a look at the actual proportions here in terms of blue card and green count. So we have 10 green cards main deck, and we can go all the way up to 12 probably if we're up against Reanimator type decks. I think that's enough. I would love to find other creatures that are like 3 that like really pay off the Delighted Halfling, but I think Plagon is the best card to pay off Halfling, and Teferi was insane in the league. I think 2 is the right amount. You don't want to have redundant ones, but at the same time, he's so good that you do want to draw him. So I'm not going to just play 1. We never got to see Narset in action, but she is something that comes in uncounterably off of Halfling. When this card was printed, my first instinct was, okay, well, I guess I'm just going to play Days Undoing. And I think I'm a much better player now than I was then. I don't think Days Undoing is where you want to go. It doesn't end the game. It's win more, in my humble opinion. You'll lose to it occasionally, but it is win more. Most often, it's just going to rot in somebody's hand. So where I ultimately went is Plagon was really insane. Or this deck previously was a Nadu deck. Sorry, we don't say that word around here anymore. We don't speak his name, but we just did. And basically, you could use Plagon to target. And so this was a deck that I had good success with at the Hunter Burton Open Memorial, which happens usually in the spring here in Dallas, 200 person-ish tournament. I top 8'd it with Plagon, Nadu. But now that Nadu's out of the format and Reanimate's out of the format, I mean, this would be way too slow to go up against Reanimate, even with like the Entombs, with the Endurance. Like the only deck that could reliably beat, that deck was probably like Blue-Red Delver. I think was probably the best matchup against it. But we don't have to talk about that either anymore. So, like if you count this as a blue card, that's 27 blue cards. That's really good. So really great blue count. And I really like Days a lot more than Force Negation. And you need to be playing Wasteland. Like you saw that final round. If we were just like a dirtily Jeskai control deck, we would have gotten destroyed. You can't play control decks that don't have Wasteland unless you have just like Back to Basics or something like that. I think is a good substitute. But you need to respect their ability to just generate crazy amounts of mana. So I think 2 Prismatic Ending is great. You could absolutely play Spell Pierce instead of Days. I'd only play 2, and that frees up a slot. But I like Days a lot. It's live in creature matchups. I'm looking forward to playing more rounds of this. I think this is a serious contender for like an actual control deck. Beanstalk, obviously, Jeskai, Wizards, people will continue to play that. Grixis Wizards, Grixis Control, which is a very solid deck. If you know how to pilot it correctly, it's hard to pilot. I don't think this is nearly as hard to pilot as those decks. It's probably even easier to pilot than Beanstalk because Beanstalk generally like they're too many colors and they're trying to like greedy people trying to jam basics into that. Like, I'm sorry, if you're playing like a 4-color Beanstalk deck, you don't have room for basics, especially not if you want to actually have a few Wastelands. And I think I've proven why Wasteland is good. Wastelock, I think, got our opponent to tap in at least one match. It's a single card, Life from the Loam, but it basically invalidates an entire archetype. And it's just so good. Like, I call it Lancestral Recall. And I think this is like the real kind of like, there was an instance where we like chose the Life from the Loam, and I was like, well, I might flip a Wasteland, and even better, I flipped a freaking Uro. So even though Uro doesn't have really any synergy with Plagon, there just aren't enough creatures that are good, that have higher toughness than power, that like, obviously all the Goyfs, but there aren't, like, I'm not going to play freaking Tarmogoyf in 2025. I'm sorry. He's not good enough. But Baragoyf would be good, but then I'd have to splash into another color. And I think white is better because then you can naturally cast Teferi if you need to. Prismatic Ending is very good right now with all the Tamiyos. Prismatic Ending is also insane against tempo decks, which is why I've got a 3rd one in the board. But I don't think it's a 3 because you'll run into Doomsday where it does nothing and stuff like that. And I think there was like a game where we had like a plow and 2 Prismatic Endings or something like in our hand, and it was really embarrassing. So that was an example of drawing the wrong half of our deck. As control players often say, your white cards to deal with permanents, your blue cards to deal with spells, and you've got your green cards to actually win the game. And Endurance won some games. Uro certainly won some games. And just having like Delighted Halfling be a 1 green mana Hymn to Torok for our opponent. Like they have to counter it because they're like too terrified of what's coming. I don't think it's nearly as terrifying as it was back when that guy that we're not going to say his name, the bird guy, was still around, but it's still pretty terrifying. And if you're like a deck that's trying to win on the stack, the possibility of an uncounterable Teferi is just like a lot of decks just don't have a good way of dealing with this card. Like if they're like an Omnitell deck, like, okay, that's on the table for the rest of the game. I can't get rid of that. You know, I don't have any creatures in my deck. How am I supposed to deal with this, right? So, and just the ability to every 4 turns draw a card is quite solid too. So I'll leave it there. I hope you have an excellent time jamming Control. This is probably the best meta we've seen for Control in years in terms of viability of Control. I'm very happy playing Control decks, but again, my humble advice is put some Wastelands in your Control deck. Until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.